I hope you're ready because today we're going to be taking a look at over 130 minifigures themed after Naruto. I'm going to need your help today to fill up this box. So what this is kind of a minifigure display case that can be mounted onto the wall. And what I need your help with is deciding which ones to put in here. When watching the entire video, let me know in the comment section what your 3 favorite minifigures were. I'll also be selecting 3 random comments to give away 3 different Legos of their choice. After a few days have passed, I'll go back, tally up the most popular characters, and fill up that wall-mountable display case. So we're going to be going through the series of Naruto from the beginning all the way to the end of the war arc. So a lot of the characters will be themed after different points and arcs in this series. So of course, we're kicking it off with the OG Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. I'm very fortunate to say that for the early Naruto, I was able to watch it, airing weekly and catch episodes. So I really have a strong connection to the early series. So this is our version 1.0 of Kakashi, and then a second version has come out. So you will be seeing that kind of pattern throughout here. There might be multiple forms of each character, some being stronger than the other. You can kind of tell they're not as nicely done as others. But here, let's look at the face on this one. And then we have this frog wallet that was also sculpted and included. So good. Those two are the 1.0 versions of Naruto, and here we have the 2.0. So lots more shading and details throughout the outfit. I love the kunai holding hand there. And then also you have the alternative faces. So these are the same minifigures, and if you spin the head around, you get 2 different emotions out of that. There is my boy right there, my main man, Zabuza. Many know he is one of my all-time favorites in the series for reasons I've mentioned many times before, but great job on this one to sculpt the whole sword. Looks accurate. I do have to put him on this little plate here because the sword would tip him over if I didn't place it that way. If I go like this and actually put the sword behind him, he does balance a lot better. And here is Sasuke as well. We have the Demon Wind Shuriken that's attached to there, but really this is kind of the same as the one in the back there. The faces is just different, and there's the weapon that's also included with it. And there is Haku the Trap. Not gonna lie, I don't even remember how many times I have called he a she for the clear confusion that was caused in the series by how he was dressed. Here's one of my favorites. I love how they sculpted all the chakra flowing throughout his body. I'd say this is either probably from the moment when he faced off against Haku with Sasuke. It could be him when he battled against Sasuke in the final valley for the first time as well. But either way, so cool looking. I love the one tail that was sculpted in the back. And the 2.0 version of Kakashi here is another variant of him where you change the face a little bit. Also, he has that giant looking lightning blade. What a cool effect piece to include with this. For the most part, this is the main lineup for the early series of Naruto. We do have a few extra figures to accent onto here that I'd say were from that theme or era. We have Guy here in what seems to be holding some nunchucks. His outfit is probably a little bit more bright green than I would expect. So here is the 2.0 version of Guy. And what I love is we can actually see that the flak jacket is sculpted separately. So that's really cool. Some of the later versions of these, you'll notice they do sculpt that separately. There's 2 different faces you can include for that as well. So that's the same minifigure with the head just spun around. And then we have Rock Lee. And again, see, the outfit looks more in line with what I'd expect here, being a darker green compared to that very bright green that Guy had at first. Here's the alternative head for him. Here's a random one. They have Ibisu made, the trainer of Elite Ninja. Honestly, what a joke, I'd say, but he is none other a character that did train Konohamaru in this series. And then we have one of the first of the 3 Sannin Orochimaru. We can see this is the 1.0 version of him holding a syringe in his hands. And the second here, he actually has that belt, that rope type belt that goes around his waist, sculpted onto there in shorter hair. But with these 2 showcase, we do need to get some sacrificial bricks and sacrificial minifigures to create. That's right, Lego coffins, and inside we have Hashirama and of course Tobirama from their fight with Hiruzen. So really cool the way that they did this. If you look at the armor and the faces, you can see the cracks on there. All the details were perfectly captured with the decals. And then over here, Tobirama looking just as good, one of my favorite characters in this series. So I picked up the coffins separately, and then the minifigures obviously perfectly stand in there. This is Jiraiya 1.0, one of the earliest Naruto minifigures that I found, and thankfully they did come out with a 2.0 that looks a lot better. Really cool too. They have these sculpted on wooden clogs on the bottom and also the scroll in the back. He definitely does suffer from having a little bit of balance issues, but really cool how they brought him to life. It looks perfect. Tsunade coming in, she has these chakra looking fists on the side. Also, I do want to mention, if you are interested in ordering any of these figures, I'll use a link in the description where you can check that out. If you use that link, it does help out the channel just a little bit. And then we also have coming up Kimimaro. Now this is really interesting, right? How they sculpted him with the bones on the back and the main one there. And everything is oversized looking, but kind of neat that they added that. If you take everything off and remove that drill piece, this is how he would look without it. I don't know. I don't think I really prefer the other way because there's just too much going on there. Really neat how they have those bone decals on the back, but with this shown, we have wrapped up the original Naruto series minifigures, jumping right on into Shippuden. As expected, there's going to be a lot more minifigures from this series than the earlier one. So there's Naruto, and here is Sasuke 1.0. 2.0 will be shown later. This one's definitely a little bit rough. Mainly the hair sculpt there is not fitting. And then also, if we bring Sakura in, I have no idea why. But for some reason, they have the Uchiha clan symbol on the back of her outfit. I guess they knew that it was destined to happen in the future. So there is that. And here we have Hinata 1.0. Honestly, I have no idea what they were thinking. The hair almost looks like a large mullet. Here's 2.0 looking a lot better. The hair sculpt really makes a difference. For those of you that are going to be buying some of these minifigures, I hope seeing them up close and personal does help. Here is Choji. He's got that chakra arm, similar to how Tsunade had before. His hair sculpt is a little off as well, but at least they did the body right. Then one of the most underrated characters in the series, Shino. One of my favorites. I love bug jutsu users from what they showed us in the show. Also, another one of my favorites underrated is Kiba, right? The dog or ninken users. Really great to see. Obviously, Kakashi, more of a higher level version of that. But here is another secondary phase of him with that smirk that we know and love. And then there's the Shippuden version of Rock Lee coming in, hair looking pretty weird, and that flak jacket is obviously on there with the decal. And one of the cool things with these Legos is you can kind of take multiple versions, like here we have these two, and we can grab the extra Kiba. And if you kind of take some of the parts off, take the flak jacket, you can create cool things like this. Pretty cool, right? You're welcome. All right, so if you're ever looking to kind of combine or make some of your own, you can pre-plan out which ones you want to use parts from or accessories. And then we have Neji, which is cool because there's actually multiple different versions of him. So I don't even want to call this the 1.0 version because it's not at all bad, but here's the secondary version, a much more calmer face. And the third one is the same as this second, just has the alternative head there with his headband removed. Pretty cool. You can have the curse mark showing the calmer face or the Byakugan. Sai coming in looking exactly like you would expect with that smile and eyes shut. And then Gaara, this is the only minifigure that they have made for him. I think he definitely deserves a 2.0 in the future where maybe we have the sand gourd on the back and the hair done a bit different. Ran out of room in this lineup, so I'm gonna have to push someone. Oh, sorry, Sakura. Just kidding. Hey, I'm not a Sakura hater at all. Just joking, just messing. Time for the Akatsuki line up. This is Pain 1.0. So we have kind of a cloth type of jacket with none of the red clouds on there. And here is our 2.0, which is looking a heck of a lot better. These are a bit newer and released recently. I love that the cloak isn't cloth and a full unit. And here's the 3.0 version, which pretty much the difference is the eyes are a bit wider. I think this feels more accurate to his character, and it does come with a secondary torso or upper waist section with him not having the cloak on there. If you're looking to get both of these versions, you are going to have to order two because the legs are not included, but that's what they look like side by side. And by not included, I mean it only comes with one head and legs. You need two to create the full versions of them. Here is Conan 1.0. You can see her holding that paper in her hand. Also, we got some red, clouds on this cloth cloak here. But the head sculpt done pretty well for the, 1.0 version of these. But 2.0 is undeniably better. You can see that paper bond that she's holding there, very fitting for her. That is what included. Also, I love the fact that the flower in her hair is a different color. And then it also comes with this section here. Again, you have to buy two to be able to make this. So this is her without the cloak on, something we don't see all too often, but pretty neat that they included it. Up next, you got your boy Hidan coming in. Really cool. They have a sculpted scythe accessory included with that version. And with this one also, it's really neat to have the curse mode. So for the 2.0, they actually don't have that. So this is the only version where you can get this alternative body that you can have there. So perfectly as you'd imagine it being there, showing all the different black markings for that. And the 2.0 version has the cloak like we've seen before, but the scythe looks a little bit different with the red and white color that they added. Not perfect, right? You imagine it being more of a steel rod instead of white. but definitely a lot better than just a black. And then here is the secondary version, just him shirtless. Would have been cool if we had a curse mode for the 2.0 version, but they both look great, I think. Always amazes me how they bring these to life. I never thought ever I'd love to see a day where somebody made Naruto Legos. Even if they are unofficial products, it's really cool to see. So for Kakuzu here, we have the normal version. We got a briefcase, right, full of money, his MO that we're used to. And then here is the secondary version of it, which just has him again. It's not shirtless, but obviously it has the cloak removed. And look at that, right? How cool is that? We have all the different faces on the back there that they put on, but really cool. This is one of my favorite minifigs, I think, that they made as well. Itachi 1.0. You know, I almost left this minifigure out because it's just not that great. It's one of the earliest ones they ever made. So we'll move on to 2.0 here. Looking pretty amazing. We have that cloak that we've seen as well. Right, it's recycled. Every single one of them uses it, but it's perfect. His is actually open, so some of them are shut, and his is open just like in the show. And here's the extra body that you get. Has two alternative heads as well. One where he's kind of got the blood dripping, like he overuses it when he uses the Amaterasu ability. So that's a neat detail that they added for that. Kisame, man, did my boy get some extra treatment on this one. So not only do we have this version right here, we can see the skin color, probably more accurate to what I'd expect. And then we have this other version here where it's a lot more bright blue, but it's cool how they sculpted Samehada on the back and also the strap where he can wear it as well. The Samehada is too heavy, so we do need to put him on a stand similar to how we did with Zabuza, and each comes with this alternative body. You would have to say the color for the right one is more accurate, while the left one has a lot more details. You almost wish you could mix the two to create the perfect one, but these are two different options that's available out there. What's neat for some of these minifigures as well is the 2.0 versions are so great that they're pretty much done. Really, you don't really need to make any extra other ones other than that. And also Kisame came with a shark that I didn't show on camera. I forgot to show that. But here are the two versions of Zetsu. Not too popular of a character, right? But the 1.0 version looking pretty meh, while the 2.0 coming in looking really good. And also with the 2.0 comes this extra body here. I almost wish too that with this one that they made an extra body where it was just white, so it looks like the clone version of what we see fighting in the war. I would eventually love to like recreate a scene between the war. We'll see some minifigs later where we might be able to do something like that in the future. Oh, one of my favorite characters in the series. I love puppet jutsu uses here. So Sasori's coming in. He has a scroll in his hand like he's about to summon some puppets. And also this has got to be one of the coolest versions where somebody has the cloak off here. They captured all the right details there, even the piece that's in his chest where his actual heart is. Datara 1.0 coming in with that belly shirt. Definitely not the greatest, as you know, par for the course. We've seen the first versions are just older, while this second version here, as I mentioned before, Itachi's has an open cloak, while this is more closed and fitting to his character. And the secondary version comes with him just like this. So a belly shirt, but at least there's some fishnet on there, so it doesn't look as bad. Also, if you look at the arm, they were sewed on, just like we remember them being as well. So pretty cool that they have those little decals or details on the minifigure. Toby, you love him? Do you hate him? I don't know how you feel about him. He's such a goofy and fun, lighthearted character in this series for sure, while he's in this form, but really well done for the minifigure. Strangely enough, we also got the Preta Path of Pain. So other than him and the Deva Path or the main Path of Pain, we only have these two. I'd love to see more maybe come out in the future. And here is Yahiko here in 1.0, and the 2.0 has more of the full cloak version as we saw in the robes before. And the last for this section is Nagato. So this is the 1.0 version, and awesome enough, the 2.0 version doesn't really look much different, just a skin tone difference. I don't know which one looks or feels more accurate. The other one comes with a rod as well, so that's cool. But all the details you come to expect would be also cool if maybe someone made one of his chair eventually for him to sit in. I also want to share, just like we did with Rock Lee, we're going to, kind of mix and match some parts, and we created Yahiko, Conan, and Nagato in their more casual outfits. So this is a cool little thing you can do if you order some extra pieces for them. Moving on to the Pain Invasion arc, this is Sage Mode Naruto 1.0, holding that little Lego that kind of looks like a Rasengan. Neat little addition that they did for that version. And 2.0 coming in. Definitely a little bit of an upgrade overall. We have the scroll in the back. A little bit more details could have been added to that, would have been nicer. But we have kind of the eyes, I think, look a little better on this one. And then we have 3.0 for this version. Here is him with the Sage Mode eyes and a lot more details in his outfit than you come to expect than the other one. And here's a version, just same one, just the heads turned around. So this is two of the same figures with the alternative heads that you can use on them. Hinata 3.0, I guess I would say for this one, where she doesn't have any sleeves on and the hair sculpt is done really well. Also, we have her with the Byakugan unlocked, where we have those fiery chakra looking things, almost like the twin lion fists as used versus Pain. I know I'm gonna get attacked in the comments below, but I had an extra Jiraiya, and if you rip his arm off, it's kind of a different version that goes in this arm. All right, that's a horrible joke. Put this thing down. Let's get it out of here. Good old Gamatatsu coming in. What a silly, goofy little frog. I can't remember which minifigure this or Gamakichi came with, but those were included, and so I wanted to kind of put them here, obviously going with the Sage Mode version. And then we have Minato. This is the only version they've made so far, at least with him with his cloak on. There is another one a little bit later, but we also have another Tobi, or at this time, I guess Madara. I don't know what to think about this one. This one kind of reminded me of something that would go with him versus Minato because it came with this chain, but he is in the Akatsuki cloak, so I'm not sure if it goes with it directly, but I want to put those two side by side as like a 1v1. Again, trying to follow the story progression a little bit as I can. We have Taka Sasuke with his Akatsuki cloak on here. Nice little sword they sculpted for him. And then to go as, again, a 1v1 versus, we have Killer B here. You know, they didn't have all of his swords or couldn't sculpt all of them on there, but he does have a little extra unit that goes on his neck that allows you to put two swords on his back. So that's a cool thing, I think. And the outfit obviously nailed it. Next up, we have someone else that faced off against Sasuke, Danzo. Another really cool one. Look at the arm. They have all the Sharingans that are on there. I think his hair maybe should have been a little bit more grayer toned. I don't know why we're not having a blank for Danzo's hair color, but it seems a little bit too dark for who he is or how old he is, I guess, in the show. The Raikage, I've always loved the fact that he has like a pro wrestling belt that he wears around his waist, but they did good with capturing that. And I thought to myself too, like, you know, who could we put side by side for him, or what kind of 1v1 could we create? But here we have Minato in his flak jacket outfit before he becomes Hokage. I remember those two facing off. Such a cool idea for the two fastest shinobi out there to duke it out the way that they did. Obviously, Minato is just a boss all around always. This one doesn't fit into the timeline perfectly, but Anbu Itachi coming in. I want to show you all different sides because there's so much details that they put into this one, but love the tattoo on the shoulder. And also, if you flip the head around, you'll get this version where it is the Sharingan showing on here. So same figure, just the two different heads I want to showcase to you. And then the next up is going to be Shisui, right? So really neat that they included him as a minifigure as well. Kind of similar to Shino, how he has that part that goes upward. I love that about the outfit too. Similar to Anbu Itachi, we have a second figure here. It's the same exact one, just the head turned around. So just like he gave his eye to Itachi and he lost that with the blood dripping down. Also, this minifigure, I don't know why I'm forgetting this or messing up who I think it is. I believe this is Shisui as well, but they have him in the flak jacket. We can obviously see the Sharingan there. So not sure. I do believe that's who he is. I don't know why I don't remember him ever wearing a flak jacket. That could be my bad knowledge of just having a blank here. And this one I was confused at who it was at first, but this is none other than young Sarutobi. We can tell that that's Monkey King Enma, or what it's supposed to look like in a more minifigure form. And then unexpectedly, they have a minifigure for Chiriku, Asama's friend. We don't have a minifigure for Asama, but we have him. I'm sorry, that's a little messed up. Hopefully in the future that is one that's made, but they did a really good job with him too. Here's a cool alternative outfit as well for Kisame when he was, I guess, a missed Jonin. This really got me thinking too if I could maybe create one for Zabuza when he was in that outfit as well. But I believe that color was a little bit more purple than this light gray that we see here. I know we saw the reanimated versions before, but here are some more versions of the first and second Hokage. We have Tobi Rama here 1.0. This version has the sword. Almost reminds me of how he would look before, you know, in the war times before the villages were established. And Hashirama 1.0 comes with a nice weapon. And now his hairline, where the hair meets the top of the headband, seems a little bit off for some reason. But we do have that nice scroll on the back, similar to the Sage Mode Naruto we saw before. That's the 1.0. And then we also have the 2.0, which is extremely similar, but it does have more details in the actual armor of the outfit. What I love about for the 2.0 version of the second and the 3.0, I guess, version of the first is this armor. So we can see here was sculpted on the front. It gives it a much better look. Now it's painted on the back, but at least the front has it. Gives it a really, really good look. This is how they were in the reanimated versions that I did show before. And here is Hashirama. Another version, it's kind of, this is just how it looks if you have the secondary head where it has him in Sage Mode. And then what I think is the best version is this right one over here. Now, the only heads that come with this version is going to be the reanimated looking ones where it's black instead of white. But that's something I could probably switch some parts around and come out with some better ones. So a lot of figures made for the first and second Hokage. And here's a fun thing to go over here. All the ninja, I'm going to call them ninja fodder that Madara fought across were actually made. So as you can tell, this is one using the Hidden Stone Village armor. Now they had two different versions. We have this one and we have the one with the bandana version of the headband here. So some of them come with alternative heads or you can spin them around. Some of them just one. Then there's the Hidden Clouds version of the ninja fodder here. Now really cool, I'm thinking about this, like there's gotta be a way to maybe come up with a few parts, mix and match, and maybe make a Darui out of this. That would be kind of a cool thing to do if I just research, maybe find some other different parts from official Lego minifigures. I'll probably be able to create them. Then there's the Hidden Sand Village armor. So I love how we have the normal face here and turn it around. And then we have the terrified face on the back. And also for the second version of this figure, here's a terrified face for him. Now this just tells me that one day a scene of Madara attacking and obliterating an army full of these people has to be made. And for the last village represented is the Hidden Mist Village. Now I only have one minifigure for this one. I'm not sure if I just misplaced the second one. I can't find it, but I believe there might be two available versions. The Sage of Six Paths. This is definitely an unexpected one that's been created. You know, there's so many different characters that I've shown so far that still haven't been created, some main characters in the series. So cool that he gets one, but I can't wait to see some other ones made. And then we have Six Paths Naruto coming in. Love that he comes with two different rods, and the way that his headband is almost flowing in the wind is another cool touch. Though this one's neat, this is definitely a 1.0 version. We have these other versions that were made as well, where we have those orbs surrounding him in the back. So these are much more detail oriented. And again, while this one is a nice upgrade, here is another version here where the orbs look like they're more floating in the air because they have those clear acrylic pieces between the orbs. While this version is cool, I almost wish they had one where a little bit of the hair or something was transparent or translucent. That would be really cool, kind of feel a little bit more accurate. You saw Sasuke 1.0 earlier. Now this is the 2.0 version of him. Definitely a lot better overall. And this is the first version. It's also kind of a second head. It's really difficult to see, but it has a little bit of a different emotion on here. I had to remove the hair to really see it because it covers it up. But one's a little bit more serious, one's a little bit more casual. So you can get two different versions of that. Again, the hair covers up that motion. Kabuto in his cloak here. This is crazy. So just like he was summoning some of the reanimated forces to join the battlefield, we have that scroll in his hand and a really kick-butt job at bringing this outfit to life. Getting some more Kabuto action, and we have the Sage mode version of him. We have that snake coming out of his belly. Clearly, easily one of the creepiest things in the series, but they did a good job for what it is. They have that extra piece that attaches via the waist there. There's a little bit of a gap there. You could probably, if you really want to, glue it together to eliminate that gap, but looks good, looks good. I know we shared the Six Paths Naruto version before, but here we have the Nine Tails chakra form. This is the 1.0 version, and the second comes in. We have a golden colored headband with a little, piece in the back flowing in the wind. A little bit more detail, some of the orange that they put into this one. And while this one is still amazing, good, and a nice upgrade, we have a 3.0 version right here. Look at that awesome yellow looking kunai. And then also the details on this one are just super on point. So this one was made when they also decided to make Minato as well. This is one of the newer ones that released, definitely a favorite of mine. So we have that cloth-like cloak that is appearing again, but a much different color and really bringing to life this form for him in the show. I guess if you really wanted to, just like I did a bad joke with Jiraiya before, you could rip an arm off for him to make it a little bit more accurate, depending upon the scene you want to bring to life. Rest in peace, our boy Neji. This is him, how I imagine to be in the war arc. Now, as much as I want to put a flak jacket on him, his hair is a bit too long, so I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. And we have another Toby here. This would have probably been a better one to use when I showcased him before, standing next to Minato, but I forgot that this one existed, so I am going to sneak it and fit it in here. The mask is done well, just like the others. Then we have Obito 1.0 here, loving the war fan. He didn't come with any hair. Now I wanted to show you his face as well, but that's primarily because we have the mask that he does wear for this, so it covers it up. This is how I'd imagine displaying if you wanted to, but this is the 1.0, and I have to tell you, if the 2.0 doesn't make it on the favorite list, I don't know what does. This is amazing, right? You have the sickle or the scythe, and then you also have the war fan, everything built into here. This is probably a figure that has the most presence, or a minifigure that holds the most presence. We have the cloak just like we had with Yahiko, just a different color, and the mask looks awesome. Unfortunately, there's actually no face underneath there for him. The mask is actually the head sculpt for it. If you stuck around to the end, there's also a very special minifigure I'm going to be showing at the end of the video, one of my most expensive versions. Before we get to that, we have Madara here again with the War Fan. This head sculpt is not looking too amazing. I think the hair could have been done a little better. It reminds me of Choji's hair. Might be the same exact version, just black, but they did great having that piece of his chest opening up for the Hashirama cells that was used on him. 6 Pass Obito. He really got some love in this line of minifigures so far, having a lot. Now the hair is not on point, so it's actually rubbery. It's not even made of some kind of plastic material, but I think we need to get some better hair on him eventually to make it more believable. If that wasn't kind of bad enough, Madara is looking a little rough here in his 6 Pass mode as well. Still, it represents the character. Glad somebody made him so far. He unfortunately does not come with a staff, but we'll go ahead and set this aside and move to the last figure. So far, all the minifigures you've seen cost about $3 to $5. This is a custom figure. These actually cost around $40 to $50. I got a little cheaper, but it's none other than Might Guy in his 8 Gates form. Now, because this is a custom made, again, the quality is much higher than the others, rightfully so, because the price is almost, 8 to 10 times more than what the normal ones are, but extremely amazing. One of my favorite moments in the series. Cool to have in a minifigure form. I hope you enjoyed your time today. As always, everybody, I'll see you in the next video. Do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.